Welcome to the 11-point countdown!
Hey!
Today we are talking about the 11 movies that have not held up well over time, as voted by more than 3,500 readers on 11 points. My name is Sam. I am joined today by a third-time guest, Mr. Elliott Owen.
Hey.
You look different in every appearance,
I know.
too.
I'm always a before picture and never an after picture.
All right, the number 11 movie that has not held up well over time, Billy Madison.
I would never second guess the voters.
Right.
I respect democracy as a concept, obviously. It gave us 2 Bush terms. But the one thing that I did really go, oh, that part's especially dated, is that they have Nudie Magazine Day.
Right.
And like if a kid watched it now, you would have to like put your arm around him and go, there used to be magazines with naked people in them. Or you
that
go,
is very dated.
and then you go, there used to be things called magazines.
All right, the number 10 movie that has not held up well over time, Red Dawn.
Okay.
And I assume we mean the original, not the Chris Hemsworth
Well, actually, the
2012.
Hemsworth one hasn't held up well either.
Right.
But it was at that time when everybody was patriotic because like we had gotten our asses kicked in Vietnam.
Red Scare time too.
It was
made
Red
perfect
Scare,
sense.
yeah, and it was like a dawning of a new Red Scare. Right.
That they might come and parachute into Colorado
That was
and
weird.
attack us.
Well, because it's like one thing if Russia's gonna do it, but I think like Nicaragua was also involved
Yeah, I think-
somehow, and I think they had Cuba.
And that made it maybe hit a little closer to home.
I guess the Cuba thing, they're not known for their great Air Force or anything, you know,
They're paratroopers.
or all of their ground troops. Like,
Number 9 movie that has not held up well over time, Forrest Gump.
okay, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest Gump maybe comes off a little more contrived now.
Yeah.
Than it did. Like we're maybe a little more of a sarcastic people than we were
Well, I
when
was
Forrest
gonna
Gump
say,
came out.
we're so dead inside now. We can't even root for like a mildly retarded guy to like live out his dreams. You know, like I don't mean the R word in a pejorative way, because I don't know what his affliction was, but like
I think right now, in this day and age, we try to diagnose him too.
yeah,
We
exactly.
Give him some medication.
We wouldn't be like he wouldn't have AIDS if in this day and age, because we would have said, hey, don't do that with her. Like she lived through disco.
Yeah. The number 8 movie that has not held up well over time, Austin Powers.
If Austin Powers doesn't hold up, why do I do an impression of him like every day?
The number 7 movie that has not held up well over time, War Games.
Yeah,
That's from the early days of computers, right? Where you could just hack anything.
Right.
You know, where it's just like you have your school's computer. Obviously, you can hack the NSA.
Yeah.
Or whatever with it.
that it went like, oh, you can't do this with computers too. Now you kind of can.
They probably couldn't have done it with the technology that he had out of his bedroom like
You would
that.
you would hope
You would
not.
think.
But again, like, have you been to a Genius bar lately?
The number 6 movie that hasn't held up well over time, American Pie. I think why it doesn't hold up, at least for me, is that it feels like they have these gross out set pieces. Since then, like there's been so many gross out like shock movies.
Yeah.
Like that those, even though they pioneered this era of it, feel very tame and
Right.
sort of passé in comparison.
That's fair.
Their bits feel, it's like the first of anything, you know? It's like the Friendster of shock comedy, basically.
Yeah,
what they were doing.
exactly. Yeah.
The 10 Commandments.
Is it like, I just couldn't, I'm trying to think of like being a voter and being like, the book was better, or like what, like.